Hey y'all,
Hello,
I'm Chris,
I'm Greg.
and this is It Worth It, y'all? And today we are back in the pantry. I don't remember if you guys saw a couple videos ago, but we had an exciting thing to announce, and so here we are. All right, so you're shaking. So we are gonna go over our rules for our pantry challenge coming up in June. And if you don't mind telling them what we decided to name our pantry challenge.
The pantry challenge is Get Rid of Jars June Pantry Challenge.
So we realized, and we'll sneak some footage in here of some jar footage. We realized we don't have enough room for the coming up growing season, harvest season. So we're gonna go through a June pantry challenge, and we might even push it into July, but we're not making any guarantees, y'all, okay? So what we wanted to do was come on and kind of go through the goals, introduction of why we're doing it, a meal plan, our organization, our goals, and then the canning list that we've actually come up with of items that we know that we need to replace. So you can pick whichever pieces you want to talk about. I'll talk about the end parts and we'll go from there.
Okay, why are we doing this challenge? First off, it's to intentionally focus on getting rid of canned items that we know we won't can this year, items that are getting older, and make room for the new products coming in soon.
So that's hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll make some room downstairs in our pantry. That way we can bring in these new products. Our meal plan, we are going to, we've gone through and we've already penciled in, and you can see what's sitting in front of us. These are some of the jars we've brought up from downstairs of the stuff, kind of like getting ready. Okay, bring this stuff upstairs to make sure it's in front of our face so we'll use them. So these are the stuff that we've kind of penciled in for the month that we know we want to use. We wanted to focus on using the older stock and using stuff that is not in our freezers or our fridges. And then we are going to focus on using as many ingredients out of jars as we can, because you'll see here in a bit, we don't really have a lot of room downstairs. So you want to do that one?
Organization.
Yeah.
Well, in order to start this, we first went down into the pantry in the basement and kind of reorganized it and re-inventoried it as we were going through to get kind of an eyes on what we actually had. Mm-hmm. And then we went through and found some older items that we needed to get rid of and items that we're not going to use, as we said before. Yeah. And then we moved all that stuff up here, and it's all sitting out on this table that we'll show you in a little while.
Yep. Plus our house has changed. The kids have moved out, and now we are cooking for each other. So it used to be me cooking for, however many kids showed up for dinner. Now it's cooking for two, and we eat differently than the kids that have moved out eat. So we just changed what we use and how we eat. So this is going to help us move through those products that are in jars that I have canned or that we have canned and clear that out. So, I think it's great because we have a huge canning list, y'all, and we don't have any room for it, and we need the jars. So, okay, so we're in the basement, y'all, and we just water glassed 30 dozen eggs. Yeah, here, they're over here. I'll show you. They're over there. We got to make room for them, but they're right there for now. So the next thing on our list, we're gonna go take care of a dog. The next thing on our list is, I don't know if we're gonna put this in the same video or not, but we have decided that we're gonna do a June pantry challenge, and Greg and I have dubbed it, what do we call it? Do you remember?
Something jars.
Get rid of jars June. Because we have realized that if we're gonna do any preserving, we need space for jars, y'all, because look, Yes, we did the January and the February pantry challenge, but we still got a lot going on that we need to move through. So what we have done is we've created a list in She's in Her Apron. And so these are the jars that we're going to pull up to the pantry so they're in our face and we use them. Thoughts so far?
Nope. We just got to set the table up in the middle of the other pantry.
Okay. And then I'm thinking we're using two-plus-year-old stuff, I think, is whenever we were looking through our, because we both have an app on our phone that's got all of our inventory. So I think we're using jars that are at least 2 years old, if I remember correctly. So we're gonna take some time and pull a bunch of jars. So have fun watching. This is gonna be a lot of work. That's a lot of weight to go up them stairs.
Mm-hmm. Get our steps in today.
We will get our steps in today. Tell the people what we're doing.
We are pulling jars for our pantry challenge in June. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, while we're doing that, we are going to kind of re-inventory this pantry and kind of get things a little bit more in order so that we know how much space we have for the new canning season that will take place in about a month or two when everything comes in from our garden. Because we want to do a lot of canning of the garden because we're going to have excess tomatoes, onions, peppers. So we're going to make some salsa, some different types of crushed tomatoes, maybe some diced tomatoes. So we kind of need to get an idea of how much space we have before we just do all this canning and then realize that we don't have room for it.
Well, the other thing too is we've realized that there are certain things that we just don't eat anymore. And so like this fish, I can't even tell you how long it's been on here. So we're going to pull this and take it up and we're going to test it, see if we like it. And if we don't, guess what? We're just going to get rid of it because it's taking up space and there's no reason to have it here. I got a wild hair to try to see. Look, they're full drumsticks. Chicken, who cans chicken drumsticks?
Apparently you.
Apparently me. So we're going to use these. So just little stuff like that we need to get rid of. Because, I mean, the strawberries, y'all, that we've been canning, we ended up with 40 of these. So we got some stuff that we need to get rid of. And Greg's idea was, while we're sorting this, let's double check our inventory. So I just wanted to break in and say, brilliant idea, babe. Okay, y'all. You see that? I'm going to turn you around. Hold on. Adult supervision. Look at this mess you guys made. What the heck? So we cleared out some boxes. These are the canned goods that we're going to move upstairs because in the month of June, we're going to do that get rid of jars challenge. Get rid of jars June. This is the first set of jars that we're going to work with. Ernie, you get back over here where I can see you. And then Greg has meticulously, we also re-inventoried the shelves, and I'm glad we did because we found some discrepancies. He has also, we've done, if you can talk through what you did to make it easier on both of us.
Okay, so beforehand, we were just putting things where there was space. So since we decided to pull the things for the June jar challenge, we decided to put them all in some type of order. So what we did is we just started, and we started in the middle shelves, so it was kind of awkward. But like top shelf now is all of our vegetables.
Or like stuff made out of vegetables, like French onion soup, and we've got some coleslaw.
We put some, yes.
There's some pickled things, but they're pickled vegetables.
Then second shelf, we tried to do all of our proteins in a jar, our protein starters, like the chicken soup starter. Anything that had a protein in it, we tried to put it all here.
Yeah.
Menu or meals in a jar. The next shelf we went with fruits, whether it be canned fruit, jams, juice, because we do cranberry juice from concentrate. And then our next shelf was all of our tomato product, salsa, tomato juice, pasta sauce, tomato sauce. Then our next shelf was all of our stock, beef, poultry. And then we just had an oddity of the nacho cheese from doing them for parties.
And some canned water.
And some water that she does when she doesn't, you don't have enough space in your canner. Just can a jar of water and you have a spare jar of water for anything that you need. So then we re-inventoried, and as she said, we found some discrepancies, but most of those were our fault because you get in a hurry and you just, one of us will come down and grab something. And then with the app that we have, we forget to put it in there. So you probably need to do this. I'm going to say we probably need to do at least once a quarter.
That's a good idea. Well, and the other thing too is when it's really nice to touch every single jar, because when we picked up one of the nacho cheeses, the lid popped off. So that one's going in the trash. So I think it's really a good idea too that we put our hands on these jars quarter because of stuff like that.
Yeah, and then when you're doing it, you can just kind of reach your hand back and just slightly go over, because that jar top is going to come off.
Well, and it popped. That one popped. Yeah, if you just touch it, that popped pretty easy. So,
because what we wanted to do to begin this project was, number one, get the jars for our June challenge while we're to see what else we can this year and where we're going to have space at. So now we know we don't have a whole lot of space here. So all of our new stuff that we can will go over to my basement, because I have a concrete, nice, cool basement. And then we've been talking about it. We may take our June challenge into July.
Don't make any promises. These people are going to hold us too. What are you doing?
Because we have a lot of jars that we need to get rid of.
Yeah.
Like we have a lot of meatloaf in a jar, deer meat.
Some of those rogue canning projects I've done in the past that y'all don't need to duplicate.
Because we're going to try not to can meals anymore, or ingredient based.
Yeah.
So that something you have multiple choices on what to make.
Well, and we've found too that we don't necessarily gravitate toward the meals in a jar. Maybe whenever we get doing this again, more the soup bases. But as far as like the meals in there, even the beef stew, we're not eating it. Like we don't gravitate toward.
No, and that's what do this is the other night we planned on to get. Sorry, I keep hitting my mic.
It's okay.
We did a meal plan, and to get rid of some of the jars, we decided to do shepherd's pie because we had leftover mashed potatoes from a couple nights beforehand. Well, when we
pick the jar up so we can show you what we used.
So what we did is we used the canned beef stew and then put it in a pie pan and then we put mashed potatoes on top. But when we got to eating it, we're like, well, we're actually eating double potatoes now.
Yeah.
So that's where, as we did before with the...
Right here. Yeah, that.
With the chicken soup starter, we've kind of talked about it and said, well, let's do that with beef stuff or just with plain vegetables.
Yeah.
So that when you come down, because even if the electricity goes out for days, as long as you have the potatoes and a protein, you can mix it together. It doesn't already have to be mixed in a jar.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's more versatile the way.
And it is more versatile.
The way that we're going to go.
So now, like this beef stew,
it's beef stew.
It's beef stew. I mean, you could put it over rice or something, but wouldn't it be better if you could just...
Yeah, because look, there's the potatoes, there's the beef, there's the peas, there's the green beans,
there's corn.
There's corn. All we need is some carrots, canned carrots, and then we could make it if we wanted
Most of the time you're doing vegetables, pretty much for sure, if you're a canner, that's your main canning thing is vegetables.
Right.
So why make a meal? Just do all your vegetables separate. Mm-hmm. And then you can do a protein.
Yeah, I agree. I'm digging this. And it's really nice to see it all and see the quantity. Like, we seriously need to do something with pears. We seriously need to do, I mean, it's like, we're not going to need cranberry sauce for Thanksgiving for a really long time. But it's nice to see how much we have so we can, like, we only have 2 cans of beans over here because we have 60 cans at the other house.
And what we realized the other day is she went to the grocery store and bought cranberry juice because we don't have much cranberry juice concentrate.
I know.
So we're like, next time when the holidays roll around and that goes on sale, we're gonna stockpile on cranberries and make a bunch of cranberry juice concentrate. And cranberry juice is good in essentials.
Yes, cranberry juice is good in essentials. See why I love this man, y'all? Well, and I kind of bought that cranberry juice at the grocery store because I'm like savoring the last 7 pints that we have of the concentrate because that stuff is so good. Like, we're gonna have to do cases.
Yeah.
To get what we drink in cranberry juice, we're gonna have to do cases.
Because when she did the cranberry juice, made our own. I don't like
store-bought.
I do mine just.
Oh yeah.
I do mine just with concentrate and water. Mm-hmm. She adds a little bit of sugar, not as much as the store-bought stuff.
Yeah.
She likes hers a little sweeter. I like the tartness.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make me drink a ton of it.
Yeah.
Because it's tart, but it still gives me the vitamins and stuff that I need.
Yeah. Yeah. So
but because we drink it different ways,
then we can make it.
We have 2
we do
glass containers. What are they? Quarts or just shy of a quart?
Just shy of a quart.
And we labeled the top of them, no sugar, sugar. Mm-hmm. So now we know whose is whose.
When we take the pint, can you hand me one of them? When we take that pint jar, it should be
cranberry juice from concentrate.
So this is the cranberry juice concentrate, and it's in a pint jar, and we can make a half a gallon of regular juice from this pint jar. So he gets a quart jar and I get a quart jar, and one of them has sugar and one of them doesn't. So we turn this into a half a gallon, and it's so good. So that's we were having this conversation. I was like, let's do this conversation on film because this is good information. And so this is a part of we thought in January and February when we did the pantry challenge, we were going to do a better job of using these jars. But I think, Greg, correct me if I'm wrong, because they're down here and they're not upstairs in the big pantry where we film at, I think we forget about these.
We forget about it, and probably like most people, you concentrate more on your freezer stuff because you think you need to get rid of it or you want to make space.
Well, and one of our goals was
to get rid of freezer space
so we could move one.
Yeah.
So now that's why we're doing the get rid of jars June and maybe July because we need to. Because in a couple months we're going to be harvesting, and I mean, look, it's still full, y'all. Like, I mean, we have room at the other house, but then it becomes more of a management issue of back and forth. And do we have 6 of these over here and 12 of those over there? And yeah, we have the app, but it's, for me, I like to have all like things with like things. That's why I'm so grateful Greg did the whole put the proteins together and the vegetables together and whatnot. So yeah, y'all, this is just the conversation we're having. We'll quit rambling. We're going on like 10 minutes of talking. So, but I mean, this is the why behind all this stuff is we want to grow our own food and we want to have room for the new stuff, and to have room for the new stuff, you kind of got to eat through the old stuff. So that's where we're at. Is that good?
That's perfect.
Okay. So go ahead with part of our canning list.
All right. So yes, it is.
It's a lot.
Large one. But we're going to need this year out of the garden, we're going to need to do some crushed tomatoes because we have plenty of tomatoes growing already.
Yes,
so
we do.
Salsa, Rotel,
Our version.
chilies, corn, more peppers and jalapeno peppers. Then we like to make our own cranberry juice, so we're going to have to stock up on cranberries and make cranberry juice concentrated. We want to try to do our own lemon juice. And then we want to do green beans, not pickled, but just regular canned green beans to go along with the frozen ones that we'll do.
Yeah.
And we want to make our own barbecue sauce and some sweet relish because we have cucumbers growing.
We do. Little teeny weeny baby ones. And I don't like sweet relish, so I have a bunch of dill relish that I pickled, but he likes sweet relish, so we need to make some sweet relish. So, Greg asked a really good question earlier today. He's like, can we just can some mixed vegetables, kind of like we did the chicken soup base? And if you haven't seen that video, I'll put a card here so you can watch that video. And we squirreled as we normally do, and we went and took a bunch of our frozen veggies that we got, that we stocked up, and we threw them in the freeze dryer to do a test to see, do we like them frozen? Do we like them freeze dried? Or we'll eat one of the chicken soup bases and go, or do we like it canned? And let's figure out the way that we like it best, and then we'll put it up freeze dried, frozen, or canned, the way that we like it best, because we have the opportunity to use all three of those methods, which will hopefully help us get away from like that dependency on the freezers. Like in the January and February pantry challenge, we did a really good job and we emptied a solid freezer. And it was kind of nice to only have one location to go to, but we quickly realized that January and February were great. We cycled through a bunch of stuff, but we have since went on a protein binge and purchased a bunch of protein again. So we have 2 freezers full now, or 1.5. Freezers full. And if we intend on getting a whole hog, we're gonna fill up another freezer. And if we intend on getting another beef at the end of the year, we're gonna have to eat through that freezer again. So the jarring and getting this done will help us take some of those older meats and maybe even put them on the shelf, and we get rid of some of those canned proteins that we have that we just maybe don't like. So
well, and on that aspect, for me also, it's getting away from, just because we want green beans tonight, running to the store to get green beans because that's what we meal plan for.
Right.
So if we don't have it, we just have to move on and learn how to rotate and use other items rather than the convenience of being able to just run and get it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that kind of segues into, okay, pantry challenge. What are our goals and what are our rules?
So the first goal is we want to try to use 12 quart jars of the older tomato sauce.
Because we have a ton of tomatoes coming in and we have a ton of this left. And so we want to get rid of it. This next one's scary, y'all.
No grocery store at all.
The whole time?
The whole time.
Okay.
Because we have lettuce coming in our garden. We're going to be a little low on carrots, celery, and stuff at the moment.
I mean, but the goal is to get through it. We have powdered milk if we need it.
Because it was just like the pantry challenge that we did for January.
Yeah.
One of the things that we made a rule for ourselves, because we like salads, was that we could go to the grocery store and eat salads. Well, now that it's summertime and we got a garden growing, we got to learn to, if you don't have it, you just got to wait on it.
I think I've turned him into a monster, y'all don't tell. But I'm okay with this. I think 29 days. We have one exception.
We have one exception.
We have one exception in here because it's my birthday and we're going out for my birthday.
We're going to go out to eat for her birthday.
Yes, and if we are out of cheese or something like that by my birthday, because it's toward the end of the month, yeah, we're going to eat some cheese and we're going to eat some milk, and it might be go snack at the grocery store. I know. We could go to Sam's and we could do the samples. I'm kidding. So yeah, we have one exception because it's my birthday, and we tend to treat each other on each other's birthday, so we can't not have that one. And then I kind of threw this in here. We try to use 1 jar per dinner, so that means at least we're going to get rid of 2 cases of jars. So 29 quarts. So it might equal up to be more cases because we have a lot of pint jars. So, but the goal is to use a quart jar, however that shows up, in every dinner. I think breakfast and lunches for us are so random, because if you know, depending on the time that you go to work, whenever I'm going to work, lunches, sometimes you can't take them, sometimes you can. Sometimes I don't eat lunch. I only eat 2 meals a day. So I think if we focus on the 1 jar per dinner, then the jars that we get taken care of on the weekends for lunches and stuff, I think are bonus.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the way we've done our meal planning is we've tried to incorporate, sometimes we might use 3 pint jars just in order to get rid, we might use a green bean jarred, we might use a potato jarred, and then a protein jarred. Mm-hmm. So that way we're...
And that would be like 1.5 quarts, because if those are all pint jars, I mean, that's 1.5 quarts. So we've hit the one.
And that way we just
jar
reduce our stock of the items.
Okay. I'm in, I think. This is going to be fun, y'all. I think so. I think it's going to be really challenging. I'm going to do my best to film the dinners so you can see what we did. Every week. So I'm going to do my best to do the pantry challenge update once a week, just like we did in January and February, so you can kind of see what we're using the jars for, and we are going to keep a tally and figure out how many jars we used. So, did we forget anything?
Nope.
Okay. All right, y'all, that was our big announcement. Yeah. We're doing another challenge. And now that all these cans are in here, it's really full. Like, there's still a ton of stuff in here, and we haven't really done a lot of stocking up. We did, like, freezer stock up stuff and cheese stock up stuff, but, like, in here, I think we did, what? Mayonnaise and mushrooms. That was it. Oh, I bought more crackers. But from January, I mean, we didn't stock up on a lot. We moved some stuff.
We just moved stuff.
We moved some fish or some spam and some
mushrooms.
Chicken. We did mushrooms. That's what I'm saying. I think we just did mayonnaise, mushrooms, crackers. Yeah, we really didn't stock up, y'all. We did a lot of freezer stuff and cheese.
Yes. We were mainly focused on, early in the year, we were focused on emptying freezers out.
Yeah, so, all right. Here we go, y'all. Game on. Wish us luck, and we'll keep you posted. So if you have any comments or questions about what we're going to do, comment below, like if you haven't already, and then until we see you on the next video. Bye, y'all.
Bye.